What are you doing?
I'm going to sign up for your next class. That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous.
And lose weight, stay well, eat better. Sounds real good. I understand that you also provide a service called iridology. Can you tell us something about what iridology means?
Well, iridology is the study of the markings on of the eye, the colored part of the eye. The body is wonderfully made. I say this over and over again because I'm just in awe when I think about the precision and the thought and the excellence that went into the craftsmanship of our bodies. Just as we use our eyes to look out and to view the universe, we can see everything about us through our eyes. At the same time, your eyes reflect and absorb light so that you can actually take a pen light and a magnifying glass, look into a person's eye, look at the coloring and look at the markings. When a person's body begins to experience a decrease in energy flow, a particular part of the iris becomes darker and you begin to get craters and markings so that you can actually look in the eye and see where the energy is being blocked in terms of its movement throughout the body. Those places where the energy is blocked are places where the body is going to be tight and where you're going to have what we call dis-ease or disorder in the future. It's a very old technique. It's excellent. It's being rediscovered and used by people who are in holistic healing. We use that.
That's very interesting.
We also use reflexology because if I were to take your shoe off and take your foot right now, I could massage the bottom of your foot, and the places that I touched that would be painful to you would be spots where you need to have the energy is starting to get blocked, and those reflexes are connected with other areas of the body, and we could normalize your circulation and develop a free-flowing energy by just working on your feet. You can do it with your hands also. These are things that people can do themselves in their home.
I've had one reflexology treatment, and it was terrific. Maybe 2 years ago, I think it was, I had a migraine headache for about 7 days. I took every aspirin, everything I could think of, and it wouldn't go away. And I finally went to get a treatment, and it worked. In 20 minutes, I was like new.
Absolutely. And this is what we're trying to get people to see, that we have easily techniques all around us that we can use and help ourselves and help others. Reflexology is wonderful. People need to discover it.
I know it works for headaches.
It's something that you can do at home. It's also very relaxing. If you have a child.
Something that we could do at home?
Sure, anybody can learn to do it. If you have a child who's, say, very hyperactive or who's very irritable, you can just massage the reflex points through the ball of the foot and onto the toes and begin to see that child just relax. You can do the same thing with total body massage. And people are working with their babies now to just massage them, to increase the energy flow so that these children are more productive. They feel the loving touch. It's wonderful. Reflexology can be done also to people who are immobile in the hospital, who are not able to move around, so they get very poor circulation to their feet, and you can actually do that to stimulate the circulation.
I thought you had to train for a number of years to become a reflexologist.
Well, normally what people do in reflexology, you go in for a training, an intensive workshop that might last 2 or 3 days. After you have an understanding of how it works, then a person then begins to just practice. You find people who would love to have a treatment, and you begin to just work on them, on their feet. And that's how you really get good at it, is through practice and working with people. And most important of all is the desire, the actual love of the person or other people, and the desire to help them. That's what you actually give when you're working on another person's body.
Now, the Stay Well Institute offers colon therapy. Tell us something about that. That's something that everyone's talking about these days, going to get a colonic. Tell us what you do at the Stay Well Institute.
The people on our staff are all teachers, and what we've done is we've taught in the elementary schools, the colleges, the high schools, and what we decided to do was to take our educational skills, our teaching skills, and begin to teach people how to stay well. Because for me, I just got tired of going to funerals. I am so tired of going to funerals. I could just scream. And it seems to me that the best thing to do is to begin to promote wellness. The longer we live, the less often, you know, people will be dying and we'll have to go to funerals. So we said the best way to promote longevity is just to stay healthy. So we began to offer classes all over in these things. And Beverly, I just about forgot your question.
I wanted to know if you have colon therapy.
Okay. The colon therapy was one of the avenues that we began to explore, because with colon therapy, we've discovered that people who have abdomens that are swollen, we used to think that that was just fat. But we have found out that a lot of times what's happening is that they are retaining large amounts of gases and waste material in there. You take the colon therapy, you use water to actually wash out the bowels, similar to an old-fashioned enema. You actually wash out the bowels with water. You have a professional who does it for you, and you bring waste material, gases and old material that's stored in the bowel. The average person we've found out is carrying around anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds of old fecal matter that has not been eliminated.
10 to 15 pounds?
And let me tell you how it happens. Most people eat 3 meals a day. But most people eliminate maybe once a day. So somehow another, output does not equal inputs. Although the body just, you know, it's accommodating, so it just stores it. Now if we were a car or something, we put too much fuel in our gas tank, it would all come out. It would just flow out on the ground. But for us, it just flows out. And we have a cute little saying, we call it your waste line. But we spell it W-A-S-T-E, your waste line of the amount of material that's there that you weren't able to eliminate for whatever reason. So colon
that
therapy
makes you look better and feel better?
Yes. Most people who have a colonic will tell you right away that they feel so much lighter, you know, in the head, because they feel better because you've eliminated the gases, and the gases are poisonous.
And you eliminate weight, too, actually pounds.
We have had, when I was studying with Dr. Robert Wood, who trained us, he used to have a clinic out in Miller, Indiana, which is near Gary. He gave us material showing people who had lost as much as 10 pounds with one colonic. Now, normally these were big people, though, very big, and they had a lot of material stored all around this area. And as the colon therapy progressed, waste material just came right on out.
How often should the average person eliminate? I know a lot of people don't for weeks, and well, they don't even know that they should. We feel as though output should equal input, and we look at babies for our role models. Normally with the baby, as soon as you feed it, it will soon eliminate. And as we begin to feed our children foods that block up their intestines, one of the most serious one being sugar, which just blocks up and creates gas. Also starches, processed starches, white sugar, white flour, white rice. These are denatured foods where the B vitamins have been removed and the roughage has been, and the fiber has been removed. It blocks up the intestines so that we don't have this free elimination, so that people gradually begin to have fewer and fewer bowel movements. I get people now who tell me that they eliminate once every 2 weeks. In fact, Dick Gregory has been working with the fellow who eliminated once every 3 weeks. He had trained his body to eliminate every 3 weeks. It just shows how adaptable this body is to the mind. We could really do many things with it, but this man was 1,200 pounds. So you see, that was definitely a matter of storing. He was eating 3, 5, 7, 10 meals a day and eliminating once every 3 weeks. Now that's an extreme example. So he had to be sick. He had to be ill, right?
Well, you know, it depends on what we're talking about, ill. You know, what we do in the Stay Well Institute.
Unhealthy.
we say that anybody who was allowed to wake up this morning by the Creator is healthy. It's just a matter of where you're going to be. You can improve. If you woke up, you are at a point where you can improve.
What made you decide to start the Stay Well Institute? What got you so interested in alternate forms of health?
I think that it started when I was a child. My girlfriend and I, we used to stand up on the balconies at night and talk about how we were going to grow up and save the world. You know, I don't know.
So you've been thinking this way since you were a child?
We said, that we were going to find the cure for things. We both wanted to be doctors. She wanted to find the cure for cancer. And I just said to myself, I didn't want to find the cure for cancer. I wanted to find the cure for death. I mean, then I would really be doing something.
What is your educational background? I know that you've got several degrees, and I know you've studied a number of things. What?
Well, I tell people, basically, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. I'm a very good teacher. I can teach people to do things. The other thing, I studied, I was in the field of education. Then I decided I wanted to go back to school and be a doctor. So I went back and I took all the courses that you need for pre-medicine, the anatomy, the chemistry, the physiology. And then I decided that I really did not want to go into medicine. So I began to study with people around the country. I studied with the herbologist, I studied with the colon therapist, the reflexologist, the nutritional therapist. I began to study all of these because it seemed to me that to be really effective at teaching people to do things, you have to be a person that shares some of the common background that they have.
Now, if someone wants to share and enjoy better living, better, healthier eating, how can they get in touch with you?